Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Secretary, may we please know your stand as to the procurement service of the DBM? Should it stay or should it be abolished?
So I've been very consistent since day one. I defer to the good judgment and wise judgment of the Congress. But if you will give us a chance, anyway po, nandyan pa po yung PSDBM, if we can work on some reforms and with the help from GPPB, and we have a new executive director now who is a budget procurement practitioner and advocate, maybe we can improve po the system of our procurement, especially with the PSDBM po.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
On PSDBM, to follow on the line of questioning of Rep. Padiernos, you have argued for the continuing need for an institution like PSDBM, even as trust for it has all but gone. At the same time, you say that you are already taking steps to make sure that PSDBM will never again be an instrument of theft. So, kindly explain your position to this committee. Can the good secretary tell us how she intends to reform PSDBM? For instance, will she now exercise oversight over this sub-agency of the DBM and disallow the downloading of huge funds from other agencies to PSDBM?
I think just for transparency, all bidding process po should be online para po nakikita ng tao po yung nangyayari during the bidding process. And another thing po, we will stop po yung so-called, I think dito po nagsimula yung parking. Most of the budgets po of departments, they download their budget to PSDBM if they cannot finish po the project or the program. Para po kasi if you download it to PSDBM, which is a corporate in nature, parang obligated na po siya. So we already asked GPPB to work on an IRR po para po hindi ma-download yung pera po kung hindi po kaya tapusin ng ahensya. I think it's but wise po that if you have funding, I think it's better to be implemented rather than being parked to another agency. These are some of the reforms po that we have, but if we have enough time po, I can read them also or submit to the committee my proposal.
Please do submit, good sec, through our chair. But Madam Chair, I think Cynthia would like to interject. Sure.
I just want to manifest that ikaw, as DBM Secretary, you're willing to reform. But how about the succeeding DBM Secretary? Maybe we should reform na lang through legislation kasi mahirap yung ganyang IRR tapos babaguhin ng bagong secretary ang IRR. So it will be continuing. Maybe one secretary will be honest but the next secretary will not be. So we want a permanent solution to this PSDBM and this PITC fiasco, 'di ba? Huwag tayong ipapangako nyo sa amin ngayon pero pag pinaltang kayo, iba na naman ang gagawin nyo. So ako, I'm in favor of abolishing na yung PSDBM at PITC kasi we cannot control that eh. It depends upon the one heading the department. Pero kung mapunta na naman yung department sa lokohan, patay na naman tayo. Katakot-takot nga ka-deposit sa inyo, 30 billion sa iyo at 30 billion sa PITC, 60 billion pesos. I think iniisip ko palagi, ano ba interest nila para i-park doon? I think it's the interest of the money, di ba? Oo, i-deposito nila yung pera tapos a part of the interest will go to them who are depositing the money. That's the only benefit I can think of why they are depositing the money to PSDBM and PITC. I'm surprised kasi ang dami naming inallocate sa agriculture na dinala dyan sa PITC na hindi naman dapat dalhin sa PITC. Like for example, kami pagawa sa Las Piñas ng fire station dahil daw walang pera ang fire department, yung in charge ng fire sa national. Tapos nakita namin na sa PSDBM ang pera. hingi ng hingi sa amin yung local fire department na wala daw silang budget, so kami magpapagawa. Bakit ganon? Ibig sabihin, I cannot find logic in that. I guess this fiasco ng PSDBM at saka PITC, we should solve this permanently na hindi ganyan. Kasi kung ikaw, mabait ka, you will do it, but how about after you? We revert back to the same situation. Yun lang ang I want to manifest in this hearing kasi I don't believe na permanently magbabago yung PITC at PSDBM.
Madam Secretary, ikaw ba yung kasama namin sometime in, I'm not sure if it is 2010 or 2011, there's a disaster preparedness or climate change international seminar in Incheon, Korea.
I think po, yes.
Ikaw ba yun?
The auspices po of I think the office of Senator
Hindi
Angara.
kasi ito, Angara, kasama yata ako dyan, boss. Sumama ba ako dyan?
Parang hindi ka kasama, Mr. President.
Ay, di ba?
Oo.
Parang kasama po yata si Senate President po nun.
Kasama ka ba?
Yeah, but
Medyo matagal na yun, Mr. President. Eh. Pero,
pinuntahan ko kasi dun sa NIA irrigation. Yung sa inyo yata climate change.
yes,
It
yes.
was I think the same time though. So si Senator Angara kasama ninyo?
Yes.
Yeah, she should be there.
Ikaw ba yun, Madam Secretary?
Most probably po. Hindi po ako sigurado. Pero baka po.
Kaya ko lang naman tinatanong kasi sa opening salvo mo kanina, binanggit mo lahat yung mga honorable colleagues natin na kung saan ay natuto ka sa kanilang mga leadership. Totoo naman yun at hindi naman natin madidebate yun. Nagtrabaho kay Senator Loren, kay Senator Ed Angara. You know. Ang iniisip ko lang, wala ka bang natutuhan sa amin nung tayo'y magkakasama? Because kasama naman kami rito. Baka naman meron kang maisip man lang na nakarating ka rin sa kalagayan na yan, na kahit konti man lang ay meron kang babalikan sa amin, Mr. President.
If Mr. Chair, Madam Chair po, if po sa Congress, I think what was not mentioned actually po is that my first job po after my master's in UP School of Economics po was the Labor Commission po. Before I entered the Senate po. So it was an office po by both houses po. So it's may members po ng Senate and then there are members from Congress po. So I learned from the best po.
Yung masabi mo naman yung kasama rin kami. Para.
Yes po, sir.
Kanina, tinanong ka ni Senator Congressman Pimentel, ang sabi mo, depende kung may maglalakas ng loob. Paano kung mabait, mahina ang loob, papansinin mo?
Hindi po yata ako matitext kung mahina ang loob.
Mr. President, talagang malakas ang loob ang gusto niya. Salamat po, Madam Chair.
Thank you po, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair.
Congressman Marcoleta, malakas po ang loob niyo, di ba?
Asawa na yan.
May asawa.
Madam, taken na po ako eh. At talaga ako, one woman man ako. Thank you.
For the record.
I would like just to
I'm
make
sorry.
a manifestation with regards to the comment that kaya hindi binibigyan ng school building dahil walang ability to construct ang DepEd, yun ba?
Hindi po kasi the money po is sa DPWH po
Kaya
sila
nga,
po
alam
yung
ko sa
nag-ano po.
the DPWH was not able to construct the school building.
Yes po, marami po ang hindi pa po nila nagagawa po.
Pero hindi naman dating ganun eh. Baka yung transition lang yan. Kasi
Can I add to that?
before, it was with DPWH kasi ayaw gawin niya ni yung Secretary of DepEd. So, inilipat niya lahat sa DPWH. Parang wala namang problemang ganun.
Hindi, kasi ganito yan eh, no? It's okay that the repair of school building is under the DepEd, but new construction is under the DPWH. However, one requirement that the DepEd is requiring prior to the construction of the public works is the soil testing, no? They cannot construct without soil testing. And traditionally, yearly, nire-release yan October. If you will look, October pa yan marirelease for the past 10 years. Because ang sagot, wala raw budget sa soil testing.
I would like to appeal to our colleagues. We'd like to accommodate your questions, but please keep it short, also the response. Senator Alan, I'm sorry. Akala ko nag-hi lang sa akin si Cheese. Yung pala, may question. I should have known, di ba? Why would I expect? Senator Cheese is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, Mr. Senate President, distinguished colleagues and members of the CA. Madam Secretary, good afternoon. Just some policy questions. Earlier, someone asked you about cash-based budgeting, and then you said it is a policy to spend only the money that was allocated. Ang problema ko doon, Secretary, ang dami yung nilagay na pondo na malalaki na imposible talaga ma-implement in 1 year. And for the past several years, DBM has asked Congress to extend the validity of the budget. Since we started cash-based, we have been extending it anyway. So, tingin nyo, tinatakot lang natin yung mga nag-i-implement. Alam naman nila, i-extend namin ulito eh. So, what's the point? Number two, my problem with cash-based is this. On the ground, if you say, Mayowa, Maika, yung tulay gagawin 1 billion worth, pag yan, Maika o Mayowa, hindi naman siya i-implement ng isang contractor lang eh. Bibid yan each time magre-release kayo kada taon na tagti 300, for example, cash-based na kasi, imbes na i-bid na 1 billion, on your side, you can easily manage the cash. Ang magiging problema kasi doon, Madam Secretary, 3 iba't ibang contractor ang gagawa ng tulay. Bumagsak yung tulay, sinong idedemanda namin? Sinong magwa-warranty ng tulay? And that is a common issue all over the Philippines. Whether it's a building, a road, a bridge, ganun na nangyayari palagi. But on your side, you can manage the budget naman, your cash position eh. You know exactly how to spend it and what to spend on yung program ninyo. Alam nyo na kung magkano yung kailangan nyo ihandang cash without hindering the implementation on the ground of these projects. Or as a second option, a certain amount below, let's say, 100 million. Sige, cash-based yun. Kaya implement yun in 1 year eh. But any amount in the budget above 100 million, hindi na yun cash-based. A provision can be inserted in the budget along those lines. We will be making the proposal at the proper time. Second, ma'am, you mentioned Mandanas, Garcia. Sorry, Abet. I keep on forgetting that. In your budget document, you said ERA went down by 14.4% for the equivalent of 138 billion. Mula ba kayong balak punuan yun? One of the suggestions would be in the unprogrammed fund, slash the 300 billion allocated to DOTR because clearly they cannot spend 300 billion in 1 year and insert the balance for the deficit or gap na nawala sa mga LGUs. Dahil bumaba naman talaga yung income natin noong 2022 eh, noong 2020 eh. Third point on Mandanas, you already effectively amended EO 138. You allocated 29 billion to the National Irrigation Administration, which is fully devolved under EO 138. Di ba? Unlike in the previous budget, this year, wala na talagang pondo niya eh. So effectively, that has been changed already. And when you allocated huge amounts of money to the Department of Agriculture, same. And when we computed, I'm sure you did too, Mandanas was only about, Garcia was only about 755 billion. LGUs thought we would be getting a windfall. Para kaming tumama sa loto. Pero yung binabang function sa amin ng EO 138, doble nung halagang yun. About 1.44 trillion. So LGUs never felt really the windfall of Mandanas Garcia because we were flooded with additional functions higher and bigger than what we got from Mandanas Garcia. And if this will continue for the next 3 years, lalong hindi mararamdaman ng LGU yung dagdag na pondo ng Mandanas Garcia ruling.
Nung teenagers tayo, di ba yung uso yung KKB eh. Kanya-kanyang bayad, di ba? So, can we study kung pwedeng KKB din, kanya-kanyang bili? So, katulad kasi noon, no? 2.4 billion lang ang tinitignan natin sa DepEd. And this was before you, this administration to. Dapat 3 million students ang bibigyan ng load. Last minute, nilalagay sa DBMPS, laptop ang binibili, yung 25, naging 30, naging 58,000. So ang point ko, hindi ba pwedeng kanya-kanyang bili? So this year, may 8 billion daw sila for laptops sa DepEd. 11.7 billion for flexible learning, which includes tablets and smartphones, and 19.43 billion for self-learning modules. So sa akin, kung panay nakawan din nangyayari sa gobyerno, panay overpriced, di ba kaya natin binibid na bulto para mas mura eh? Pero kung ganun din lang, ba't na lang kung ang ABC is 25,000 for a laptop, ba't hindi lang natin bigyan ng teacher ng 25,000, siya na bumili, kung niya na selfie sarili niya, may resibo at may laptop, yun na yung kanyang yung auditing purposes. No, ganun din tractor. So kung maraming farmers ang sinasabi nila wala silang traktora, mabagal ang DA, etc. Kung ang ABC for a tractor is 500,000, and especially kung community naman sila, cooperative or again reform community, hindi lang natin 1 million daw, stand corrected by the chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture, no? But hindi lang natin bigyan ng 1 million, sila na yung bumili, no? So I'd just like you to look into and let's have a discussion about all of this. And of course, yung budget ng Department of Migrant Workers, no? I'm very happy that this administration made it a priority, as nominated or appointed a person very much respected in the OFW committee, Secretary Ople. But of course, if we don't put the money for her office and for the department, hindi rin sila makaka-function. So I'll stop there in the interest of time, and of course, again, no, support the Lady Secretary. And as I said, no, it's going to be a hard job because you're not just going to be a DBM Secretary, you're going to be a advocate for women. Senator Pia Cayetano, ang ka-sharing ko sa CA, spoke to you yesterday and said, please push for equal opportunity for women in all parts of government. Wag mo silang bigyan ng budget unless they give women equal opportunity. Thank you very much, Chair.
Would you want to do?
I will second.
Okay, thank you.
I will yield to the Senate
Yeah.
President just to
We
second.
approve on committee level the confirmation of our dear colleague, well, my dear colleague here in the Senate once upon a time, the confirmation of Secretary Amenah Pangandaman. Shukran, shukran, alhamdulillah.
Madam Chair,
Yeah. Please second the motion. The motion is seconded.
may I say something, Madam Chair?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you. I want to do the honor of seconding the motion of the Senate President. The second to the youngest person in the cabinet who happens to be a woman and from Mindanao who is a Muslim, who also has worked extensively in the Senate. And I had the pleasure of working with her. And I can say, gentlemen and ladies, that she knows no hours. Ibig sabihin po, maski na hating gabi, sumasagot ng text. Maski na po Sabado at Linggo, ay pinapagtrabaho ko po. At sa maraming taon na siya'y nagtrabaho, kasama ko, ni Attorney Yoli Doblon, na retirado na sa Senado at ngayon Chief of Staff ko. Knowing my standards, and many of you know me very, very well, I think El Rey knows me, never ko pong napagalitan, never ko pong hiningan ng pagkukulang. She observes complete staff work. She has utmost integrity. She has dedication to duty and public service. Maski na Sabado, Linggo, and other staff might say, I'm a terror or unreasonable because we serve our public. She had never complained. And I am so proud that this young lady is now in the cabinet secretary, because when I was a first-term senator, I would see this thin girl running around in the corridor like many of these young kids at our back. Who knows? One of them could be a cabinet member or president of our country. So I was a young senator. She was an even younger staff, a senior senator, the boss of the Senate President who is now in the afterlife. But I would see this young girl, thin, running around, working so hard, who was not even chief of staff right away. She was a not even director level, just LSO. So why am I saying this? Sa lahat sa inyo, ang inspirasyon nyo ay yung masisipag. Pero kailangan masipag. Ulitin ko, hindi umaangal sa akin. Kaya niya magtrabaho sa akin, and my colleagues know this, siguro, at sigurado ako, kaya niya ang DBM. Oo, sabi ni Mayor Lani. So si attorney, siguro may isang tao lang ang masasabi ko mahahambing sa kasipagan, kagalingan, kabaitan. Si attorney Yoli Doblon. Attorney Doblon is 20 years older, however. So, having said that, I want to say more. I wanted to speak from experience kasi hindi ko naman po i-endorsohin at paninindigan kung hindi po magaling. She is one of us.
Okay.
Mahaba ng
Senator.
na. Nagalit Senate
Okay,
President.
Senator-
Maraming salamat.
Just a very
I
quick
second the motion.
manifestation. Parang lahat na nagtrabaho kay Senator Loren mukhang walang hindi na nakapag-asawa.
Okay. Okay, there is a motion to recommend to the plenary for the commission to confirm the ad interim appointment of Ms. Amenah Pangandaman. Is there any objection? The chair hears none.
Approved.
The same is hereby approved.
Let's go to the plenary.